Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Terrified Tuesday on this channel where we talk about all things horror. And today we've got to talk about Mickey Mouse. More specifically, Steamboat Willie, the first incarnation of Mickey Mouse that is now in public domain. And a little movie called Screamboat. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so I thought today we would talk about the Steamboat Willie horror movie that is coming out in 2025. Now, there have been a couple of these that have come out. We've talked about a few of them. We've even talked about this one. However, what makes this one stand apart from the others is that it seems to have maybe possibly a bit of a higher budget, at least people that are more in tune with making the type of horror movies that scare us involved in it. And so basically the first one we actually heard about that we talked about was Mickey's Mousetrap. Now that movie actually did have to go through a name change because calling it Mickey's Mousetrap kind of made it a bit too close to being copyrighted, and they didn't want that. So they kind of decided to just shorten the name to Mousetrap. Now, then you have one that's supposed to be this entire thing where a version of Winnie the Pooh fights a version of Mickey Mouse. And that one is kind of insane. That's got criminals and all this other stuff in it. It's kind of a weird thing. We have talked about that one before, and you can find that video also. But we talked about this one before, Steamboat Willie. And now that was the working title as far as we thought. Apparently the title is now Screamboat. Now, either it's called Screamboat because they don't want to get Disney mad at them, or it's called Screamboat because they decided it would be a scarier name. Now, the movie has a brand new trailer, and this trailer looks insane because now we have an idea as to what to expect from this movie. Now, the premise of this movie is simple. A mischievous mouse stalks a group of New Yorkers on a late-night ferry ride, unleashing murderous mayhem upon the relaxing commute. Can the ship's motley crew of travelers find a way to stop the killer creature who has developed a taste for the tourists? Now, I know what you're thinking. This is going to be a mischievous mouse? Oh, no. But it gets better because, see, they have also said that Screamboat will feature a mix of practical creature effects, miniatures, and cutting-edge virtual production to showcase its very mischievous monster slashing his way through a ferry of fear. Now, that is from the director. That is actually from the director of this movie, Stephen Lamorte. He's told a lot of people this is what we can expect. And the film also stars David Howard Thornton. That's right, Art the Clown. If you don't know, he is the guy who plays Art the Clown. And he is taking on the title character of Steamboat Willie in this movie. So that right there is kind of also a step up because we know he can scare us. Now, granted, they said they're going to use practical CGI and all sorts of other things, but this does mean that he is going to be taking on this part for the most part, and we will get to see how he attempts to scare us underneath all of whatever goes on with that. The movie is also from the production teams not only behind Terrifier, but also by the mean one. The Murderous Grinch movie that came out last Christmas, that movie is also tied in with this one. Basically, they are behind it as well. So this is two people that have made movies that were sort of strange and out there to begin with, and I kind of already was down for this movie upon hearing about it, but the trailer has dropped, and the trailer looks pretty good too. We don't necessarily get a look at what exactly he looks like, but we definitely get the vibe of what they're going for, and it looks amazing because It looks like it's going to legit take this seriously. And if you're going to do this, you kind of have to take it just a little bit serious. I'm sure they're not going to take it 100% serious, and there will end up being several jokes within it. The movie's trailer actually does it justice. So the film starts off showing us the ferry and showing us kind of the underbelly of it, while a voiceover sort of says they're not alone, and then we hear someone beginning to tell us a story about they've heard tells of something under the underbelly of this ferry, and that basically it is something that is horrible. It is something that is nightmarish, and that 90 years ago, apparently, something happened. So we know it's been around for 90 years, which isn't really an accident that they say this. But the thing is, then we keep hearing this whistle, we keep kind of getting this vibe. Then we see this girl holding her friend's mouth, trying to prevent her from screaming. We see some people walking around. We hear a girl scream while watching her look down at something that she's seeing. The movie looks like it's going to be one of those types of movies. Then we hear some screams. We see the shadow of Steamboat Willie coming towards someone. We hear a voiceover say, "the happiest place on earth." Now, all of that kind of goes into what to expect from this movie. Again, I think this movie's going to take itself just seriously enough to be a little bit scary. But at the same time, how much comedy are they going to put in it? Because they kind of almost have to have a little bit of comedy in it. They can't take it 100% serious. I do think that this movie could prove to be a shock to everybody. It could prove to be a bit of a surprise. It looks interesting. And the fact that they're going to use practical effects, CGI effects, and all of this other stuff to make this creature come to life, and have someone like the actor behind Art the Clown, who we already know can deliver on the scares, playing this character, I definitely think that this is kind of going to be one of those movies that might be a cult classic down the line. At least it's going to be a guilty pleasure to watch at least once. So I kind of want to see this movie when it comes out. And when exactly does it come out? Well, apparently we don't have that much longer to wait, because we're getting the next Art the Clown movie in October, but it's going to be set for Christmas. Basically, it's going to be set during Christmas, and then immediately after Christmas, on January 24th, we're going to get this movie. January 24th, 2025, Screamboat comes to your theaters. And I think it's going to be a riot. I don't know how many theaters it's going to end up being in, but apparently it is going to be playing in theaters, from what I understand. Probably a limited amount, kind of the way we've grown accustomed to some of these horror movies doing. And then eventually it will be on streaming for us to watch. I think that this does have some potential. Out of all the ones that we've talked about in the past, all of these movies about Steamboat Willie that have been turned into horror movies, out of all of them, this one looks the most interesting. This one seems like it's going to kind of fit the mold, and it's going to turn him into something of an anomaly, kind of keeping him this anamorphic looking creature. And that right there is a little bit of a selling point for me. If I'm going to be watching a movie about an anamorphic creature coming to life, I definitely want it to look like an anamorphic creature. And bonus points for them actually making it look kind of like the original Steamboat Willie did, because that kind of gives it this vibe that you wouldn't expect in your horror movies. And to do that and do it right like they are is amazing, because you can say whatever you want about the Winnie the Pooh movies. The Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies are good, and they are kind of taking Winnie the Pooh and turning him into a horror movie icon. However, they're not really being true to his outfits or to his friends' outfits. They're not really being 1,000% true to what they can do with it. And this one definitely looks like they're going to try to give us 100% of a Steamboat Willie look. So that's the news for today. And I want to know what you guys think about all this. Do you think that this sounds insane? Do you think that this sounds good? Are you excited to watch this movie? Have you seen any of the other Steamboat Willie horror movies or short horror movie films or anything else that has come out since he's gone into public domain? If you have, let me know. I have seen Mousetrap, and we will be doing a review of that fairly soon. We're going to include it in kind of our short movie reviews for classic movie reviews. So look forward to that actually coming out. We'll be talking about it eventually down the line. And let me know what you guys think about this movie. Are you excited or not? As always, we want to know what you guys think. Make sure you're leaving us a comment in the comment box below. Your friends are definitely going to want to be a part of this conversation, so make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.